This is the Louie T Network. Hey, either you're outside or you're
in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 16 in the National Football League. New York Jets taking on the New England Patriots in what could be Rex Ryan's final game at home, as well as his final game versus the B&B Winning Factory. I talked about this on the Friday program of In the Lab Room. Rex is going to want this game bad. Probably worse than any other game of the season. If he's going out, he wants to go out guns a-blazing, in a blaze of glory, winning his final matchup versus the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. He came in the door saying, hey, I'm here to beat the Patriots. I'm not here to kiss Bill Belichick's rings. And so, you know, this game has extra meaning to it. And for Rex Ryan, if he's not going to be back, he wants to be able to say, hey, while I was there, I gave Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots a run for their money. And they have always done that. Earlier in the season, when the Jets were struggling, had not won a game yet, they took the Patriots to the limit in Foxborough, losing that game 27-25. So the New England Patriots knew they were going to be in for a showdown in this game, but you got to find ways to win games. If you're a good team in this league, you find a way to get it done. It isn't going to be pretty a lot of times when it comes down to games like this, but you got to find a way to be on the right end of the stick. And so if you're the Jets, Rex doesn't have many more games left. In fact, 2 counting this game. Make them count. For the Patriots, you're looking to hold on to the #1 seed. This is probably your last visible hurdle to getting the #1 seed, because I don't see Buffalo coming into Foxborough and winning in Week 17. Neither do you. So if you can find a way to bypass these Jets on the road, you're probably going to be able to lock up that #1 seed, which right now is the most important thing, seeing as if you've already locked up the AFC East division. So this is the task at hand. Find a way to beat the Jets in Week 16. I thought this was a very well-played game by the Jets. They want to remain somewhat conservative. You want to play it kind of close to the vest, especially with Geno Smith at the quarterback position. I thought Geno had a relatively solid football game until the 4th quarter, where some mistakes were made. No points were scored in this game until the 2nd quarter, when the Patriots got on the scoreboard first with the back shoulder fade from Brady to Gronk in the end zone. And you thought, okay, Patriots are probably going to run away with this thing now. And maybe not necessarily run and hide, but put a little bit of distance, maybe a 10-0 lead going into the half. Maybe it's 13-3 at the half. Maybe the Jets are within earshot distance, but they're not close enough to scare the Patriots. But the Jets would score 13 unanswered points after that touchdown to Gronk to make it 13-7. And they had opportunities to win this game, did the Jets. The Patriots were on the ropes. They did a really good, and they always do a great job of flustering Tom Brady. He did not have a strong showing in this game. They sacked him. They harassed him. They were all over Tom Brady. They made it hard for him to get into an offensive rhythm. And so there were times where the Patriots got into the red zone, had to settle for field goals, because Brady was on the move all the time. He wasn't able to get to his spot, stay there, survey the field, and find the open guy. He had to move off of his spot. And you know, when Brady starts moving, that's when bad things happen. Sacks happen, turnovers happen. And so the Jets did a magnificent job of getting to Tom Brady and making him uncomfortable in this game, which gave them a shot. They were up 13-10 going into the 4th quarter. Then the Patriots were able to take the lead in the game 17-13. They put together a magnificent drive. Still don't think that Jonas Gray actually got in the end zone. Thought the knee was down before the ball broke the plane. But again, they ruled it a touchdown on the field. You couldn't see where the ball was when his knee was down. You could see where the knee was down. You couldn't actually tell had the ball broken the plane or not. And because the ruling on the field was a touchdown. You expected them to stay with that call, and that's what they did. So the Patriots ended up taking the lead there, 17-13. The Jets actually go back down the field. You would have loved to have seen them get in the end zone. They made it all the way down there. You would love to have seen them cap that drive off with the touchdown, but they could not get in the end zone. Had to settle for a Nick Folk field goal. And I don't know how windy it was in this game. I'd like to think that it was extremely windy because Nick Folk struggled kicking the ball in this game. Even on that main field goal to make the score 17-16, that was not a well-kicked football. That was not cleanly kicked. And you could tell that if that ball had to travel another 5 to 7 yards, I don't know if that one is good. It started to tail towards the left, which is what happened to the last field goal that he ends up missing. It started tailing towards the left. It looked like it was starting to die. He didn't get a lot of lift on the football. Again, I don't know how windy it was. It can get pretty windy in New Jersey, so I don't know if the wind was a factor in this game or not, but his kicks were not clean all game long, but it did cut the lead to 1 at 17-16. Then a huge interception by Marcus Williams gives the Jets, and you should have seen Rex on the sideline. That's how you know Rex wanted this one. When Marcus Williams gets that pick of Brady in the fourth quarter, that you feel like it's going to give the Jets an opportunity to take the lead. Rex is one of the first guys down there jumping up and down like, yeah, we got the football. Rex wanted this one bad. You knew he wanted this one bad. I actually feel bad for the fact that he's not able to get this one. And again, I've already stated my position on Rex Ryan. I don't think he's the problem in New York. I feel like he's the right guy for the job in New York. But when it's all said and done, this is a results-based league. And when you don't make the postseason year after year, when you don't have a winning record, when you're 3-12 now on the season, you get fired. That's what happens in this league. And so Rex isn't going to be able to bypass that this year. He's going to be out. But I think he's the right guy for this job. I think he's had some tough luck at the quarterback position, dealt with some injuries, dealt with some things on the roster, haven't had the most talent offensively. This defense has always been good. They're good again this year. They give you a fighting chance, but when your offense is as bad as it's been in New York for a while now, there's not much you can do. And so it's frustrating, but nonetheless, Marcus Williams with the interception, it gives the Jets prime field position and an opportunity to take the lead. I didn't really care too much for the play calling here. And again, you know Rex is going to play it close to the vest. They run it twice, end up in a 3rd and about 5 or 6 situation. The Patriots bring the house. They hit home. You want to blame Geno for taking the sack there, get rid of the football, but I felt like the pressure was on him so fast. There's not really a lot that he could have done in that situation other than take the sack. It's not like the sack took them out of field goal range, just made it a tougher field goal. But Nick Folk has been money all year long, 52 yards, well within his range. Like I said, though, I don't feel like he was kicking the ball necessarily all that well in this game. I didn't like the way the first field goal came out and went in, or excuse me, the one that gave them 16 to cut it to 1. And this one looked just like that one, except it was a little bit further back. And so 52 yards because of that sack. Again, if Geno doesn't take the sack, we're talking about a 42-yard field goal or so. Instead, it was a 52-yard. If this is kicked from 42, it's good. But because it was 52, it was no good. I'd argue that it was even short, too. I mean, it looked like it was off to the left, and it might have been short as well. Either way, the field goal was no good. That was a huge dagger because, again, you had field position, you had momentum, you had everything you needed to win the game. You were armed with everything that you needed to come out with a W, and you don't come out with any points. That was a huge win for the Patriots. They get the football back. They're able to eat up the clock. They get a huge run by Brandon Bolden at the end of the game to seal it as the New England Patriots go into New York or New Jersey. Again, don't shoot the messenger. I'll never understand that. But they go into Giant Stadium, find a way to get it done. And wow, that was or is it MetLife now? It's MetLife. It's MetLife now. Excuse me. But either way, just a big win for the Patriots. It was a tough one to get. It was sloppy. It was gritty. It was a W for the Patriots. For the Jets, like I said, I feel for Rex. He wanted this one bad. He did everything from a defensive standpoint that he needed to do to give his team a chance. And the offense just couldn't get it done. Percival Harvin goes down in this game with an injury, not able to finish the game. Geno Smith throws one bad interception. A lot of trash around his legs. Gets hit as he's throwing the football, picked off by Jamie Collins, and that leads to some points. And Then you have the sack that he takes at the end of the game. Just the cut. Like I said, Geno didn't play that bad, but it was the mistakes that he made that ultimately cost this Jets team the interception, the sack late in the game that pushed the field goal back. Just things you can't have. He did it. They lose 17-16. Patriots lock up a first-round bye. Now, the question becomes, can they lock up home field advantage? We will find that out in Week 17 as they finish up the season at home versus Buffalo. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they've got one more game left versus the Dolphins. See if they can't find a way to get that one for Rex on the way out of the door and finish up the season at 4-12. It's a frustrating campaign because, again, defensively, this team is good enough to be vying for a postseason spot right now. Despite all the injuries, but despite all of the injuries in the secondary, this team defensively is good enough right now as it's constructed with all the injuries in the secondary. This team is still good enough to be in the playoff discussion defensively. The problem is offensively, this team isn't very good. And you saw that in this game. It continues to be their bugaboo. And it's probably going to be the reason that Rex Ryan is no longer in New York. That's going to do it for Jets, Patriots. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down week number 16 in the National Football League. See you.